Welcome to YouTube, the only website on the internet that can make you feel really good with a video, quite like the one you just watched before this one, and then kills it in one foul swoop with videos like this one. I'm Daniel Moore, that is Tommy Larkins, the movie review entrepreneur.
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 Yes, absolutely. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, I am. Do you know, I've been, the weather is turning.
Yes.
It's making me feel warmer.
It's a turning point, isn't it?
So, I've gone and done the whole hog. I am in shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't just regular shorts.
Yeah.
You've probably noticed they're bright blue. Like, painted with Smurf blood. Right? The reason for that is because they're actually pajamas.
Right.
They're just so comfortable.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's that kind
And
of
roomy.
weather, isn't it? Well, I wish I was wearing sandals and armour, because considering the film that we're talking about, we, today, Dan, are talking about Troy from 2004.
And not the Troy from 2006, who's in a completely different movie altogether.
Troy. Oh, God.
Yes!
That took me a second. But... God,
Sorry, no more of that.
You
No
just
more
gave
of
me a
that.
flashback to starting high school, and literally every single girl was into High School Musical at the time.
I couldn't watch it because we didn't have the channel.
Well,
So
you were lucky then.
I bought the disc to try and fit in. Accidentally got hooked on it. I'm a fan.
What?
How did we go down this rabbit hole? You carry on with
Whoa,
it. You
whoa,
carry
yeah,
on with
yeah,
this,
yeah.
Troy.
No. Save
We're
that.
doing that.
Save that for negative November. Anyway, I grew up watching this sword and sandal epic from 2004.
Called Troy.
Called
Nothing
Troy.
to do with High School Musical.
Exactly. But only ever watched the theatrical version, so it was nice to check out the extended cut after being so familiar with the former for so many years. I don't know what is accurate and not accurate about this mythology. The characters may be different to their historical counterparts, but overall, I will be judging the characters as they simply serve/not serve the story itself in this film.
Not serve the story. How?
Well, I'll get into that.
Okay. All right.
The plot of the film: King Agamemnon has conquered all of Greece and wishes to conquer the opposing country, Troy. Concurrently, his younger brother, Menelaus, king of Sparta, has negotiated peace with Troy, until it is revealed that his wife Helen has been having an affair with the young Trojan prince Paris, who stows her away on his ship with his reluctant warrior brother Hector. Menelaus, Agamemnon, and King Odysseus of Ithaca combine their Greek forces to attack the country of Troy, but their secret weapon is bringing along the greatest warrior the world of ancient Greece has ever seen, Achilles. Wolfgang Petersen directed the film very, very well, considering its production value, scenery, and use of special effects to build vast armies, which of course we've seen in previous films that we've spoken about this month, like Braveheart and King Arthur.
Yep.
Computer-generated armies, it's nothing new. We've seen it at this point in many of these films, but this is one of those films that really paved the way. The cast is decent enough to bring some emotional aspect to the front. Brad Pitt does a good action hero performance as Achilles, yet seems like he doesn't really want to be there, which is true because he has gone on record since for stating he only did this film because he owed a favour to the studio. So he didn't even really want to do the film.
That's not very good.
Eric Banner as Prince Hector is the best character in the film, as he does everything right for his country, for his family, and ultimately his honour. Orlando Bloom was still emerging from the Lord of the Rings success at this point. Of course, the Lord of the Rings had to swoop in there.
I knew that was coming up.
Yep, yeah. As the love-struck Prince of Troy, Paris, it would have easily been predictable to make him a cowardly villain in the film, but the film handles the love story element well, with Diane Kruger's Helen being his forbidden lover. Other major names like Brian Cox, Sean Bean, who doesn't die in this movie. It's the only movie I've seen him in where he actually lives. You know, he's the only one left. Actually, come to spoiler alert. But you know, he's one of the few survivors in this film, which is just baffling. And
I'm happy for him.
Yeah. So am I. You know, I'm justice for Bean. And Peter O'Toole as well. he's great as King Priam. Yeah, they do their best with the script they were given. I mean, these are great actors doing as good a job that they could with the script, really, because the script does have a couple of faults to it.
The usual trying to make trying to
Yeah,
work on a
yeah.
faulty script. Yeah.
This is the one film I've seen. Oh yeah, I went on to say it. This is the one film I have seen Sean Bean in where not only he doesn't die, but practically every other main character does around him, which is a funny side note. As far as the difference between theatrical and extended, I like both versions for different reasons. The theatrical cut has much better use of James Horner's brilliant musical score that hits action-wise when it should, and then emotional at other times when appropriate. The extended cut has over 30 minutes of footage that fleshes out the characters much more, and it is not afraid to go more adult orientated with its gore and the violent sacking of Troy in the third act. Overall, both versions seem like different films to me, but both are worth a watch. So to close, Dan, this film may annoy people who are passionate about the mythology and its historical inaccuracies, but overall, it does not bother me if the end result is still a watchable film with groundbreaking action.
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
I baked you
a
this
cake.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With groundbreaking action, complex interactions with the ensemble cast, and it also has a great production value / musical score to support it. In my opinion, literal page-by-page adaptations from fiction or mythology rarely work. An adaptation should involve the filmmaking having taken what is essential from the material, and they should mould their film around that, provided the changes be justified to serve the story. You know what I mean? Like, films shouldn't always... if it's being adapted from a book, I'm sure the Harry Potter books did this as well. They didn't adapt things page by page, scene by scene. They took what was essential from the book and then moulded their film out of that. And I think that also works in a film like Troy, which is based on such a rich mythology. But on that note, Dan, I'm going to give Troy 3.5 stars out of 5.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Consider it, I mean, it might be worth maybe an extra half star for Sean Bean living.
That's true.
But,
That's true.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
But hey, he got his due in this movie to live. It's ironic that we spoke about a film last week that he actually died in, and now we're talking about one that he lived in.
Yeah, I know. Although to be fair, you didn't have to go far to find one that he died in.
No. Literally, just look on his filmography. It's deaths galore.
Oh, bless him. Well, Tommy, thank you very much for another amazing review in Medieval May.
Always a joy.
It is always a joy and never a pleasure unless you're me. Now, we have 2 more Medieval Mays left.
2?
2.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm looking at the calendar.
So we have the 22nd.
No, we don't. We've got the 23rd.
23rd. And
the 30th.
Right. Okay, so
Right
two more left.
31 days in May, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that. I do remember the rhyme as well. 30 days of September, April, June, November. All the rest are 31, apart from February, which is depending on a leap year.
Don't think that's quite the words, but yeah. I mean, I always forget the rhyme. I just remember that December's got 31 in it because you're just waiting for
New
it.
Year's.
You're just desperately waiting for it to end, aren't you?
Yes.
Right. Anyway, thank you very much, Tommy. As always, you are over on Letterboxd down at Larkins95. Point at it. Point at it. It's there.
Yeah.
I'm at Dan Moore Radio. I don't really do much on there. I don't know why. I just don't. Have yourselves a great rest of your week, you adoring viewing public who love coming to our YouTube channel to think, oh God, now what? If that's you, we appreciate having you here.
Yeah, 100%. Like what use would we be without an audience, right, Dan?
I can think of a few things, but neither of them are appropriate to say right now. Have yourselves a great one. Peace.
Have a great one. See you next week, guys.